Hello everybody, it's Foxy speaking, and welcome to another episode of the most recommended YouTubers for 2023. Oh, 2024, sorry. Itchy nose, ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay, here we are. In this very episode, I thought I might represent another wonderful YouTuber. This YouTuber I've been following for the last 4 years. And this YouTuber is a great pianist. Well, I think some of you can guess who he is. This man needs no introduction. Harry Volker, the great, wonderful pianist Harry Volker, himself from the Netherlands. He's Dutch. He's a Dutch pianist from the Netherlands. He does it in his free time. He's retired from his working occupation. But he plays piano in his free time. And I don't know if sometimes he does videos every day on a certain week, or sometimes he does videos once or a few times every few weeks, dependent on whether he's going on holiday, looking after his grandchildren, because he's quite an elderly man, Harry Volker himself he's an elderly man. He's an elderly man who's been married for over 55 years to his wonderful wife Magda, and he's got a few daughters and several grandchildren. So he's got a nice family life, though he loves his YouTubing and does YouTube almost certainly every single month without a shadow of a doubt to showcase certain truths of things. He is at the same time, though dedicated to piano playing and YouTubing, he's also at the same time a dedicated family man too, and a true friend. He's the epitome of a true friend, Harry Volker himself is, in really more or less the same way how Graham, Fiona, Trevor, Hutch, Mel, Annabelle, Gregopedia, Dave and Sally, and quite a few others, David Scott, my best friend, several other people who I fondly look up to. They too are the epitome of true friends, and Harry Volker himself, is the epitome of a true friend. He really is, and very greatly kind too. Sometimes you put in a comment, and if he replies to you, he doesn't always reply, but he can only reply when he can, and sometimes if you're lucky to get a reply, you just get the most endearing response and kindly response from him. And honestly, every time I've received it, I've valued it enormously, hugely. And Harry, every response you've given me, it truly, sincerely means a lot, more than you may have initially realised. He's got well over 10,000 subscribers, by the way, Harry Volker himself, and I am truly, sincerely hoping he gets I hope he gets to 20k by 2025. He truly deserves it, and I think he's going on the right path for it. I mean, I certainly think so, for sure. Yes. Oh, yes, indeed. I always enjoy his piano videos, and I just started viewing Harry's content just shortly after Edmund died. I could remember it was, honestly, the very early days of the loss of Edmund, and certainly several months after. They were the hardest times of having to come to terms with the loss. It really was, because the loss was so big and so great. It really had a great, big, huge effect, as I've said many times before, because I and my family were devastated deeply, greatly by it. And obviously, it had the worst tolling side effect emotionally on my grandmother Anne, who's still alive as of 2024. Just to say, well, both my grandmothers are still alive, but very old in age now. At 76 and nearly 85, respectively, and me at almost 23. Well, I'm 23 in June next month, so what more could one expect? So, yes, it didn't completely help, but it gave me something to do, whilst at least really trying to overcome the loss, but it took a long time. So, Harry, even though it didn't help me overcome the loss straight away, viewing your content, it tried to give me something to do at least whenever listening to your masterpiece of piano playing. you know, but you don't know how much it means to me, just to say, but I'm telling you now. And I really do hope Harry himself watches this, but never mind if not. I'm sure quite a few people from Harry's content do follow my content. I could name a few examples. Helen, lovely lady Helen, from, I think it's Alabama state. He gets follows from all over the world, Harry himself. Helen from United States of America. Lovely Stephanie from the US state of Texas, in the United States of America, Texan lady. Rosa from, I think she's Arizona, in the United States of America. I've not heard from Rosa for a very long time now, because we conversed a few times together back in 2021, Rosa and I. And I've conversed on and off with Stephanie since 2021, same with Helen too. Bukit, Turkish lady, I've not heard from her for a very long time, but I've conversed with her a few times in 2020 and 2021. And she was one of the first ones who, from Harry's content, who sympathised with me following the loss of my late grandfather Edmund. And she was like, I'm so sorry for the loss of your dear grandfather. Too early. He was much too young when he died. He was only 73 when he died, poor Edmund. Well, he would have been 74, but he died nearly 8 months shy of turning 74, so he really didn't live to really be all that old in age, you know. Although if you'd seen what he looked like, he could have passed for living a very long life. And one reason why it was because he was not well. He wasn't well, poor man. Well, he died to complications of thrombocythemia, and over 20 years prior suffered a severe heart attack which required a huge, great big, huge quadruple bypass surgery, which he underwent. He was about 50 or so when he underwent it. But sadly, once the doctors and surgeons finished his bypass surgery, they accidentally damaged his esophagus. So, following bypass surgery, he couldn't swallow as well as he used to. So eating and drinking was not entirely in his pleasurable enjoyment. You know, but so that meant, and if one asks, was he skinny? He was skinny, yes he was. He couldn't have been much more than, before turning 70, he couldn't have been any more than 9.5 stone, or any more than 126, 133 pounds, something like that. And he was short as well, only about 5'4", something like that, or 5'5". I think he was probably more 5'3" or so before he died. But I mean, Bob, a couple of months before he was 72, he was only 114 pounds, or 8 stone 2 pounds. Wow! And this was some time after his thrombocythemia diagnosis. To be honest with you, I really think he had it back in 2017, but like my friend Graham said to me, which is completely evidently true, part of the problem is you may have something, but you don't know you've had it until you're diagnosed several months later, by the time the condition or disease or illness itself has gone into fruition with manifesting itself. In full grip of manifestations. Terrible. Terrible. Poor Edmund. Yes I do, I will always miss my wonderful late grandfather Edmund, but I'll always miss him, even though I may have overcome the worst of his death and got past and eventually moved on from it, but though it did take a long time, I will always miss him and will always be remembering him fondly, and my memories of him will always live on inside me for however long my heart continues to beat, and certainly the very captivated depth of his soul and spirit will always live on inside me for however long it goes on for, if I may so share. You know. And however long Harry continues with his piano playing and YouTubing, I will always relish the thrill in watching it for whenever chance allows for me. You are just brilliant, Harry, and you're enchanted. The captivated depth of the content you provide and your generosity is valuable, extraordinarily valuable. Word perfect, full of amusement, a great pastime whenever there's nothing going on, whenever we've got nothing to do on a certain day, or after a long hard day during a certain week. You are, as I said, word perfect, great amusement, and a great pastime, Harry. You really truly are, and I sincerely mean it. And I must say, I would certainly recommend Harry's content any day. I really would. And I'm trying to remember, I think it was lovely Heather who also eventually got into watching Harry's content as well. And I remember another one of my friends said to me, I've just given your friend Harry a watch, and he's got magic in his fingers. I think he certainly does. Indeed so. He does speak English, by the way, Harry, as he's Dutch, and a lot of Dutch people do speak English as well as their own native language of Dutch. They speak fluently, generally fluently, in Dutch and English, Dutch people, because apparently the English spoken language in the Netherlands or Holland, it's a mandatory requirement to learn English there, to showcase a certain truth, as far as I am certain, that is. But I'm trying to think of other foreign countries where English is a mandatory language to learn. I know the Netherlands is one, which could explain why almost virtually everybody speaks both Dutch and English at the same time, fluently, or generally fluently. Germany, I would think so, or Austria, I don't know. But my Austrian friend Emily, I would think she speaks English quite well, because she's always communicated very well with me in English, whenever we've been conversant, talking together and all that. You know? But yes, I would almost certainly recommend Harry's content. And please do subscribe to Harry's content if you haven't already, or give it a watch just to see what your thoughts were on it. The very link to his content and channel will be found in the description below. And Harry, I do truly believe he deserves to be one of the most recommended YouTubers for 2024 indeed. Thanks everybody indeed for watching. And I shall certainly see you in the very next video. Goodbye, and may your good wishes be bringing you great expectations of happiness.